What is up? And we are live, I think.
Oh, what's up?
I don't know anymore.
I like everything that's going on here.
I've given up on technology.
Dude, 2021 40K chat. I love this little thing.
My goals now are not having an echo in the audio all of 2021. Let's see if we can achieve that. It's going to be my goal.
I feel like someone's gonna. The first post is gonna be there's an echo in the audio.
Yeah.
I love this. Third time's a charm for these semi-pro gamers and amateur proctologists.
How do you know? How do you know what I do on Wednesdays?
Well, we do stream it.
Streaming proctology exams daily. Welcome,
but
welcome,
only
welcome
from
to
the
channel.
camera view.
Welcome to the channel. Thank you. Please sit down here. Yeah. Anyways, it's 2021.
Holidays. What happened to the holiday? What happened in the? Did anybody do anything cool for holidays besides my Christmas miracle?
I ate a lot of food. I ate a 74-ounce steak. How
many stones are that?
What is 74 ounces in stones? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I love the fact that it's 74 ounce. It's 6 pounds with some bonus ounces.
It's very large, Daniel. It's the biggest steak I've ever eaten in one sitting.
Sounds like 3 kilos of steak.
No, it might be. I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to do this live on air. I'm going to evaluate how big 74 ounces.
You got to convert it to pounds and then divide by 2.2 is what you're going to do? Or are you going to convert it to grams first?
I don't know. 74 ounces is 2.1 kilograms.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So still quite big.
Yeah.
It's large. And in charge.
So,
Daniel, how was your with the holiday? Did you do anything excellent? Did you go we
had a quiet Christmas celebration with the family here. My brothers came, and then for New Year's I bought 10 kilos of fireworks. That was fun.
You bought 10 kilos of fireworks?
That is all of the fireworks.
That's a lot of steaks.
So what you're saying is there used to be a forest around your house, and now there isn't.
Yeah,
that's
something
a lot of
like
fireworks.
That.
Jeez.
I thought I'd, cleanse 2020 with fire.
Cleanse it with fire. We're not supposed
strong.
to. The
That's
first rule of 2021
is started with that because we set Australia on fire.
Yeah. So that's about it. And then we played the final games of our Liga, which I won.
Our Liga.
That made me really happy.
Liga.
So our league, a 40K league.
And you played Harlequins, right?
Yeah.
I saw your board.
They're almost. It works well. They're almost painted. I have 10 bikers left to paint. Then they're done.
Well,
so it's time to stop playing them.
I was going to say the question is, what are you playing now? Because you can't have a completely finished army. We got to move on now.
You should play.
I don't know. We're starting a new league today, or yesterday. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about what to play.
Play Imperial Guard.
What?
Imperial Guard.
Pew pew punch punch. I like that. We were saying I like the base right now. If you take take 3 command squads, 3 special weapon squads of all plasma, and then take 2 mana cores, and then just a bunch of idiots, maybe some Death Corps Krieg dudes to just command up and run up and get in your opponent's face, and then just take a bunch of hard hitting whatever sisters, blood angels, whatever you want as the other half of your army. That's a nasty army. I mean,
you could take Scions. I like Scions a lot. You can take 4 Torox Primes in a
You,
Scion.
you have to have something in this game that punches. It's just
Yeah, but it's cheap.
if you
It's
don't,
not expensive.
yeah.
It's 4 Scion 4 Torox Primes is like 80 shots at strength 4, and you can get -1 rend on them with the Lions Scion chapter, whatever. And then they're all pretty good. Yeah. And then like you get +1 on rend on the hot shot guns too. So they're like even better. And like each of those Toroxes shoots like over 30 shots, and like they're pretty cost efficient for 10 wounds at toughness 6.
The thing is that you can put basically like 500 points of whatever that's assault. You know what I mean? And then put the rest as guard, and that's a good army. I mean, like literally, I start with guard right now with 3 and 3 of the plasma units, special weapons, command squads, and then 2 mana cores, and then go with whatever after that, because that's such a base of nastiness. Just high AP shots, indirect shots, and for a really cheap price. And also, you can basically reserve all of the plasma for nothing, because all their power levels are 1, I think. So you just slap them all in reserve if you want to.
Why do you take 2 mana cores? I understand 1 because there's like a nice strat for it, but like why 2?
You can have full payload.
Full payload. So full payload on 2.
Or are they a unit?
No.
How do you do?
It's just you can have full payload on 2 things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have it one with a strat, and the other one is with you exchange some warlord trait or something.
Oh, I don't see that one. I know the strat one, so that one I know. So it's just 12 shots. I get that one. But
so you can have it on 2. So that's why you
just have three flat damage on 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and it's such a good thing. Exactly, double strat it. I do need the commanders. I'm just saying that the basically I have to take commanders for the command squads, but I want orders anyways because I want people to run up and do nonsense. See, with Imperial Guard, you get a lot of bodies too. So I mean, you can just take things, you can screen out, you can contest and lose very little points when you're trying to contest the objectives. So like you just don't care if you lose an infantry squad; it costs almost nothing. Plus, it's just 10 guys, so you usually have just more bodies standing on the objective than your opponent does a lot of times. So I like that. I like the basis of an army.
Move is sick. Gross.
Yeah, they're super fast.
Yeah, so
Astra guys are the fastest in the game.
The fastest in the game, bro. So you could do that. I mean, that's one. That's one thing. If you don't want to play Harlequins anymore, you could go to Death Guard. Death Guard's going to get a whole new book. That'd be pretty cool. You might be able to play a very small army with them, like Death Shroud Terminators.
They won't be out for his new league though. So I'm not gonna lie, dude. If you want to go for just boss mode and just punch people, take 3 units of Vanguard Vets and White Scars. They're all basically doing 2 damage after you get into the Assault Doctrine. Or you can obviously put them in for 2 CP anyways. But like those dudes are nuts, rerolling everything. You got Con to be +1 to wound. Your Lightning Claws are all 2 damage at that point in time. Those guys are disgusting. With
but he has a rule about like not playing the cheese dick army, and White Scars and Blood Angels are cheese dick armies. So if he's gonna do the Vanguard Vets, he's probably gonna play Raven Guard, which isn't cheese dick.
I'm not gonna lie.
Raven Guard Blood Angel list.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, you want to get feels good in quick games. I've been playing with 2 units of Vanguard Vets with Jump Axe, Lightning Claws, Storm Shields, a unit of Aggressors, and then the Master of Ambush Captain. And obviously, if you go first, it's nuts because you can pregame move both of them. I take Hungry for Battle, so it's +1 to advance, +1 to charge. So you're moving 13 plus D6 before the game starts. And then again, so your first turn, you're like, ooh, we're playing Dawn of War. Well, I'm about to hit you with 20 Vanguard Vets, my captain, and 6 Aggressors. Also, I took advance and charge.
I played that, but with the Blood Angels as well. And then I had Death Company doing Forlorn as well.
Oh, God.
So then I had all the guys.
All of them. Every guy.
I don't know. That's a fun list. Plus, even when you go second, it's no big deal because you just basically figure out the best pieces of terrain. You sit in the best piece of terrain because you do your pregame.
You move everything up there, yeah.
Yep.
Wait, is your army locked though, Daniel? Like, if the Death Guard Codex comes out in your league, could you just play Death Guard Codex new, right? Yeah.
In this league, we're doing 4 groups of 4 players, and then the 2 best meets 2 from the other conferences, and then so it's only 6 games. So in this league, we said we'll lock it down. So the list you play the first game is your choice. So I'm not doing Death Guard. I don't know. We'll see. I was thinking about 3 Wraith Knights just because it's fun.
Yeah, but
and 3 Wraith Lords.
It's not fun? Losing games a lot.
Yeah, you're like terrified of some of the games.
We're going to be 2 weeks later. You're like, this league's bullshit. I quit. I pulled a hammy.
That's
I
not
couldn't
true.
continue.
You can still have fun and lose. That's you're false, Brad. You're false.
Yeah. But winning is also
Well, how
fun.
competitive is your league? It sounds like it's not very competitive because you won the first one. So you might want to just like take it easy and play something kind of cool.
No, it's very. I mean, it's some of I would say most of the best players in Stockholm is playing it, so it's competitive. But it's also boring to bring exactly the same list.
Yeah, I would mix it up. What do you have? What do you have available? I know you could play Grotz with squig models. I know you have a lot of squig models. I know that for sure.
Yeah. Grief. The grief.
I love
So,
everything about
so
this.
you can play those guys.
No, I could play anything except probably anything except Gin Stiller Cult or Sisters of Battles, because it's the only two armies I don't have.
Mm.
I mean, I could borrow them, but no.
Well, Sisters
Probably.
of Battle would be awesome too if you could do Sisters.
Dude, I can't believe you don't have a Sisters of Battle army. That is so you and an army, dude. So much crazy things you can do as a general. Plus, they have great trades. Like that's just a Daniel army that you don't own. I feel like you're gonna find
it's the same with the Gin Stiller Cult. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you're like, these are armies that I think were really me in every way. I'd love to play them. Have you bought them? No, I bought 15 other armies instead of them.
Yeah.
Mechanicum could be fun too. You can run some robots in a Mechanicum
Admech,
army.
yeah, I was thinking about Admech because I need to paint up my Admech as well.
You could bring back your
they're a bit
horses.
different.
Your
You're gonna do
horses.
dogs. You could do sulfur hounds and dogs, and just really harass everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a lot of really cool stuff. And the destroyers are really
Yeah,
good.
no, I've been looking at Admech and Necrons the most,
By the way,
but
Corey,
Necrons doesn't inspire me. I don't know
Necrons-
why. I just pull back.
Necrons,
I-
they didn't have
I
what
really
we
have
wanted.
to pause on this one because Corey's really inspiring me with his comment on this one. I've been answering the chat in chat. I have to do this one out loud though because I just look over. I'm checking chat and I look over and I see, apparently the Swedish New Year's ritual involves sacrificing a virgin, 3 chickens, a Saint Bernard, and to the troll god Mumblejoins. So I didn't even know this. We should show up in the winter just so we can hang out. Necrons are very good. They're just semi-boring.
Necrons are very, very good. They're just they're not semi-boring. They have no personality, no flair. They're not like a fun army. Like they're just it's
But
weird.
they seem more fun than the old codex at least.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
they're
They are
many
more
times
fun. They
more
are more
fun
fun
than
than
the
the old
Codex.
codex. But I think they made warriors so good and everything else not as good that like
Yeah.
it's
That's
a
why I'm
think
being
you have to
I
play
don't
that
think so.
way
Yeah,
to like
I mean, the thing is that everything else is good. It's just the Warriors are fucking crazy good.
yeah,
So-
and it gets kind of boring after a couple games. You're like, oh, I hope my 40 warriors live. Oh, look, they did live. Oh, look, I win. It's
Yeah,
like, cool.
I've been looking at doing the Canoptic Horde, make it obsec and then give it rad weather.
Yeah, that would be
whatever it's
cool.
called.
That'd be fun. That'd be a fun army.
-1 toughness on
Right.
everything. Then even
Everything
scarabs do
everything
damage.
within close combat. Yeah, and then your scarabs can kick ass too. Yeah, yeah. I think that's a potential for having some fun with Necrons. Yeah, if you're trying to be competitive, like uber competitive, then they're boring. But if you want to just have like a fun army,
if you're
they're
going
better.
competitive, I do like the basis of 50 Warriors, 2 20s, and a 10-man and a Ghost Arc.
Yeah, boring.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
so good. You literally start that and then you start putting the rest of your stuff that you
Yeah,
want.
no. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
It's-
that is
let
super good.
let the ITC guys who are trying to win play that kind of stuff. Just play something fun. Have a good time.
No, but I mean, I think it's important to find your own flair, right, when you build your army. So
Really, I don't see a lot of people doing that.
no, but I for me, it's important to not just copy paste the best recipe and show that it works. Try to figure out something on your own. To be honest, I didn't exactly do that on my Harlequins. I took a good list and I put in more bikes, which I think is good. But that
there's
was
not
sort
like
of
bikes
my
are pretty
flair.
straightforward.
But there
There's-
aren't any units to pick from. So.
Yeah, there's not.
I mean,
I
if
mean,
you want to
there's not much
back
there.
up that and go for more funsies, I did play. I played in the last 2 weeks a lot of games at Craft World, just straight up Craft World. I'm bringing it back, and I played double War Walkers with double warwalkers, triple spears. I brought spiders. I brought a unit of spiders and a unit of scorpions to screw around to take objectives and stuff, and then 3 casters. Three casters, 9 dark reapers, and 2 wave serpents, just to take the board and be fast and do stuff. It felt good.
So you were like really lazy and found like a piece of paper that said 7th edition Eldar Army, and you were like, oh, I wonder how this plays.
I did double patrol.
Put on the board.
That didn't exist then, but so I had to take 2 units of Dire Avengers. Craftwork is still viable, except for the fact that every time you have to put your troops on the board, it feels like a punishment, like you lost a bet. You put Dire Avengers on the board and go, well, let's see how these guys do against anybody else's troops of equal cost. Okay, mine are dead.
Terrible.
Oh, and what did they do? Absolutely nothing. They also they throw stuff at people.
I think they play cards. They just like pull out a deck of cards in the battlefield. Yeah. They just play with their squad.
That would be better if they should be modeled like that, because they do absolutely. The best is still in a game when one assault intercessor got into 2 units, 1 unit, it killed them because, well, they die, and then the Dire Avengers shot at him, and he was like, seriously, that's all you got? And they were like, yep. And then he charged them to beat them up.
You have to remodel all your Dire Avengers as Gambit, the card throwing
cards, excluding.
Daniel, you could try Deathwatch. Deathwatch hasn't. I haven't seen any crazy Deathwatch army yet. So like you could probably make there's a lot. I mean, well, first of all, there's 100%.
It's all OBSEC.
I mean, no, not about that though. There's just 100% a chance that you can create something unique there, right?
Yeah. So since you got shenanigans, you got bikes that have an infantry keyword. You have basically take all of the units from the Space Marine Codex and go, you know what would be cooler about Inceptors, Eradicators, Vanguard Vets? You're like, how about if they were OBSEC by themselves? You're like, all right, let's do that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something with Deathwatch. I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't played around with it myself, but I'm pretty sure there's probably something there. You could always go demons. I know you like chaos a lot. I know that there's something there with the 27 books. You could figure out a way to fucking just
you don't want to play other stuff, but that list that TJ's been running is actually really fun. He's been running Magnus, the chicken, 30 horrors, and some casters and shit, then, just a bunch of Nurglings to take the board.
Yeah.
It puts out like 20, 30 mortal wounds pretty much, like on, I think it's the average is 20-something mortals.
It's exactly what I've been building with Chaos as well. Like Magnus and a lock and 30 pinks, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where I end up. But AdMech could be fun because I need to repaint my AdMech anyway, or brush them up. They look. I have half AdMech is yellow and ugly as hell.
It's the league. Where's your heart taking you a little bit? What out of the things we just said sounded the most fun? You know what I mean? Obviously, you're not locked in. We're not.
I mean, Raven Guard, Blood Angels sounds really fun because it's like really fast games and you can just push everything up there. AdMech, I love the horses. I think they're super fun. So they're not always fun for everyone else, but I think they're super fun. And I need to get those guys repainted. I'm also thinking about like a Harlequin horde and stay on the Harlequins and just finish the army. But I don't know. 72 Harlequins doesn't sound like a horde. I don't think it's good enough.
I feel like when the orcs say horde and Harlequins say horde, it's 2 different things.
Yeah.
I mean, you could actually.
I also had I also felt like doing a big boy orc list with like Gorkanauts and Morkanauts and stuff.
I was wondering where you're going with big boy. You're like, I was gonna wear my big boy pants and bring some orcs. I'm like,
you were talking about brushing up your Mechanicum, like painting them up, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, is Mechanicum as an army like the most unforgiving army in 40K? Like financially, cost per model. Like per points, they're and then also detail, physical detail on the model and building of the models. Like, is anything worse than them? I don't know. Maybe sisters, like a high sister count, because the new sister models are just insanely detailed. So
yeah, but the thing is, they're still not as expensive. Everything in AdMech costs $1 million. Yeah. Your 2,000 point army costs $2,000.
It does actually. Yeah, points per dollar in Mechanicum is very expensive. But I also think the detail on the models is crazy. Like those horse models? Are you serious? Like if you really want to paint those for real, like you're like, what'd you do this week? I painted 5 horses. How done are they? Oh, they're like 2/4 done. Like spent all week painting the fucking horse, you know? Like
no, I know. They're not airbrush compatible at all.
I feel like that's where GW is going. Actually, I don't know why. I don't know why that's there. I guess they're trying to get more detailed, which will get away from like what I can do with that 3D printer over there on that table. The more detailed they get, the harder it is to just make.
They
your
also
own
have
model.
small parts, and a lot of their new models have very
they're horrible to build.
Yeah,
They're
some
so
of them.
bad
Yeah,
to build.
I heard the Silent King. The Silent King has some small parts on him that are really hard to build. They're just components that are really hard to put together. The new Giant, there's a new Giant model for AOS. It's like
I've seen it.
It's
really cool.
It's amazing looking. Like probably one of the best models I've seen. I saw a really good painter on Facebook put up a picture of that model, like anime style painted. But yeah, no, touching up Mechanicum is gonna be. It's definitely worth it though. At the end, you'll be like, oh wow, this is great. But like during that process, you probably would be like, man, I want to start a Harlequin army because that's better than dealing with this shit right here.
I also promised Jimmy that I would rebuild all the terrain for my 3 tables at home. So I don't know how much time I have.
Jimmy, your brother, or Jimmy No Sex Jimmy?
No, Jimmy P.
Oh,
he hates coming and playing at my place because all my terrain is all busted up. I mean, it's been around for some of it has been around for almost 20 years now. So of course it's busted up, but I'm gonna fix up 3 tables so I can have like cool looking battles at my place.
Yeah.
So I have the question for today, guys. I want to put everybody on the spot because this is the first of our cast for the year. So we're gonna have to make some predictions on where things are going, what's gonna be good, what events are gonna happen. Nostrapantsis, because as anybody that's has talked to us knows, Alan actually has some of the best predictions. He doesn't predict the champions that well when you're choosing them in pairings, but he predicts the game pretty damn well.
My record for picking champions is like probably, no joke, not an exaggeration, like 72-8. And the 8 were at the tournament, but the 72 were all outside of the tournament during prep.
Yeah.
So
he went like 1-16 in the tournament. However, when we paired in practice versus anybody, he always chose the champion.
Always. Even when they were trying to pick like the worst possible champion, they were like, let's just throw him off so he stops bragging about himself.
Sarapata, you've got max squads of horses and so for crowds been painting since they came out. They still look like shit. They do have a lot of parts to.
Yeah, man, they got so many parts, and like and it's not just the horses; it's like all Mechanica models. They're just so bad.
And everything.
And like, to be honest, if I'm being honest, they're also not super fun to paint. Harlequins are fun to paint. They have a lot of painting in them, but for some reason, painting triangles is just awesome. They're like, oh, new color, yay, and they're like, oh, highlight, yay.
So, predictions. Ready? I'm gonna give Daniel the easy one first, then I'm gonna give you the harder one.
There's no hard one for me. I know everything.
Yeah. Ready? You are just gonna get the predictions of. What books are we going to get first? I mean, we obviously you can't say Death Guard. That's cheating. Okay. Well, I'll give you a semi easy because we know kind of what might go in February. What are our next 3 to 4 books coming out? Give me.
I don't think he knows or cares.
I don't know.
It's just predictions.
I'm always totally clueless, and it's like,
I know. That's why I asked.
I'm like a red panda every time they give up a new book. It's like, I mean, Death Guards and Dark Eldars are coming out. So, well, after that, I have no idea, man.
What would you like to come out? What would you like right now? What's making Daniel excited? What books make you excited for your piece of candy coming out?
Or what do you think needs a new book? That'd be a good question too.
Either one, yeah. What needs a new book?
I'm
just trying to help you here.
Nids and Tau needs books the most, I guess.
Nids and Tau?
Yeah. I don't like Tau. I mean, they're super boring to play. It's the only army I want to sell. Of all my armies
we should do that, actually.
I really sell.
We should do a whole episode. We should do a whole episode on like codexes that we think need like revamp, and then like talk about what we would revamp.
Do that for our next one. What could fix basically?
No, for me personally, what I look forward most to is my back hates me when I say this, but I really want orcs to be cool again.
Orcs. Dude,
I
Daniel,
think
put
to get
into
more
words.
orc
Put into
personality.
words real quick. I know we're doing predictions, and we're gonna go straight back to predictions. But here's a good one. Predict if orcs were back to normal, and I was like, Daniel, you got to come back to the States. We got to do Adepticon. You got to be on my team. We're playing orcs. Predict how you would feel Saturday night after playing orcs 3 days in a row.
And treated my my liver as a toilet.
Yeah. Tell the audience how you would feel.
I think if I come back and play orcs with you 3 days in a row, our team needs to hire a chiropractor and a masseuse.
Well, the winners of Adepticon team tournament can afford those things, so we'll make it happen.
They're big ballers out here.
We get paid. We
They
get
are-
paid
they are
mucho
current
dineros. Current reigning champs, bro. Reigning champs.
Third year in a row, right?
No, it's gonna be like the 4th year in a row now because they're not having it. So it's gonna be like 4 years
It's
consecutive
true.
reigning
Currently,
champs.
I am back-to-back ATC winning because there was
there you
no
go.
tournament this year.
There you go. I keep having to
Cool.
put an asterisk.
No, but I have zero insight into it. But I would like Nids and Tao to get new codexes because they need it, because they're unplayable.
And but those guys need it. What are you most excited about? If you could just pick, if you got a call right now,
He
and
said
GW
orcs.
is like, hey Daniel,
He said orcs.
what codex do you want out next week? And you got to pick. What do you?
Yeah, but if orcs could get more personality and become more orky, so they're fun to play again, and not just loota smash gun meta, it would be fun.
Got it. Alan, I'm going to put you on because you're the prognosticator. Do you have like a prognosticator hat or anything you could put on, like maybe a Grand Poobah thing?
No, man. I
Tinfoil.
shaved
Tinfoil hat.
over the weekend, and I didn't know we were gonna go live today, so I don't have my hats around.
It's a little sad, but here's my
I got my magic ball. I got my magic ball. One sec.
Because this is Mr. Prognosticator. Ready? Say our first big tournament we're gonna go to, say is Nova. Okay.
I don't think it'll be Nova.
Yeah, but whatever. Don't rain on my parade.
No, I think there'll be a bigger tournament before Nova.
Sure. Okay. The next big tournament is, say spring, summer.
ATC.
You know? Yeah, ATC. What are the top 3 armies that are going to be there?
Oh wow.
Because we got a bunch of new books. You're gonna fucking pajama pants predict this shit. What's the meta then? What's come out? What do you see into the future? Ooh.
I think we're gonna have Chaos Space Marines, Sisters of Battle, and Death Watch. Maybe those 3.
Yeah.
He said predictions, bro.
Now you're lying.
Now you're
Just
lying.
choosing things that
Now
I know
you're
are
just-
good right now.
Now you're just choosing random stuff. No, I think Sisters of Battle actually get a new book. I really do. I think it looks like they might get one because there's models coming out for them. So they might get a new book that revolves around core. I think they're going to get a core rule that will come and most likely nerf them. But I think in the same aspect, they'll probably get a buff of some other kind. Like they'll just pivot how they play. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, Marines got nerfed when they got their books." No, just Marines does not get nerfed. Marines are so good. Like
Other people are going to get buffs.
Yeah,
Marines aren't getting nerfed.
Marines are so good. So I think Sisters will still be a power codex in the next event, and I think Chaos might get a codex too. I think Chaos needs a unified book. That's what they need.
Say, all right. Well, so we're going to the Swedish team tournament to destroy everyone.
No, Swedish team tournament is comp. So at the Swedish team tournament, we're going to be playing Kroot Mercenaries.
There's no comp anymore.
Oh, there's no comp in the Swedish team tournament?
Yeah, no.
You don't have that giant the giant point system where it's like if you take Fate Weaver, you're negative 220?
We stopped with it when 8 came.
What did you do? Like fire all the people who just didn't like comp? Or who liked comp?
No. The 8th sort of sorted out some of it, and we had 1 or 2 tournaments in 8th when we had like a Highlander theme, so you could only have like 1 flyer per army, etc.
Oh, okay.
But
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, so then Brad, I'll be playing. I'll probably play orcs, and we can get someone to play sisters, and You can play Salamanders, I guess, and then we'll get someone else to play Deathwatch. And
We're not putting Daniel on the team. We're just like not including him.
Well, Daniel's gonna be in the Swedish team. He won't be on our team. He's the reigning champ.
Oh,
I think they won. I think they won that tournament. Did you guys win that tournament, Daniel?
The Swedish team tournament.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the last 4 out of 5 years we've won it.
Yeah. So they're like, but you didn't win last year, then, did you?
So you're saying
we won last year.
You did win last year. So they're the reigning champs.
So yeah, we'll have to put somebody else on that. What do you guys now? But here's the question. It's not even a prediction, but just what do you guys think you'll be playing? It's a little bit of a prediction, but what do you guys think you'll be playing as your competitive army come when we break out of COVID? Are you excited about anything? Is there any projects going on? Like for instance, I'm super excited about the Jakari book. I've been playing a lot of Marines over 2020 and 2019, and I'm ready to. I want to swing back into some toughness 3 guys. I want to get a little more speed in my life, a little funk. So I'm really looking forward to that codex, and I want to play some. That's what I think I'm going to be kind of parked on in 2021.
I feel speed is the new strength. So I'm gonna keep on playing fast armies. I like that the most. It works best for me in 9th. So anything speedy. I don't know, but like Harlequins, Eldars, some Orc bikers. I don't know, but I know it's gonna include a lot of speed.
So something with 12-inch or more movement, or you can cheat and take stuff like White Scars that have 12 movement and then D6 added onto that because you can assault charge.
I'm just gonna play whatever the best spoiler army I can come up with the most ridiculous composition of models, where I show up and feel like, how do you have all of those? Where did they come from? Like whatever that is, I'll probably do that.
Forge World over at the Baramovich house.
And I'll try to get it painted with a display board if I can. The only exception to that rule is like if Chaos gets some updates and they're like as good as Marines, because I'm a huge Chaos guy, so I really like Chaos a lot. I think you can play them now, but I think you get frustrated if you're trying to win and do really well with them. You'll come to a tournament with like this toolbox of an army that's like really good and like has all these fundamental aspects and layers of how it can compete in different scenarios and situations, and then someone will just come with a White Scars list with 18 Blade Guard and run over your face, and you'll be like, I put all this effort into this army. I made this really cool army that's dynamic and does all these cool things.
It's
and
just like I have all
you just
Blade
show
Guard
up with
veterans and
it's like I just have
Blade Guard vets.
Yeah. What's your army? Oh, it's 3 squads of Blade Guard, 3 squads of Vanguard veterans, some Outrider bikes, and some characters, and I just run up the board and there's really nothing you can do, because even though your army is really like well put together and has all these like dynamic aspects, I just spam the most efficient things in my codex, and I have the most broken rules, arguably the second most broken rules. Maybe Blood Angels is a little bit worse in the game, and you can't do anything about it. So it's kind of sad.
Why do you think Blood Angels are worse?
I mean, Blood Angels are better than White Scars. I think Blood Angels +1 to wound is probably the best. I would argue that is the best hands down ability any faction gets in 40K.
I don't know. The advance in charge and freaking being able to leave combat is so huge.
The board is so much smaller that movement isn't that big of a deal, and being on the objectives is so important. So I actually don't agree with either of you that movement is really key to 9th edition. I don't think that's the case at all.
I think it's huge because of the fact that you can reflank, you can retake stuff. It's so big. You can just so many of these armies are trying to go back to their Death Star thing, and you can just leave.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if I get my secondaries, and I get on the objectives, it's really tough. Like how is Dark Angels Terminators winning? Like Inner Circle is winning tournaments. They're doing really well. And the only reason why they're doing well is it's like
easy to play against it, man. You play like a 6 objective game against them. You kill everything that's not that core of their army, and then you're just everywhere.
Yeah, and then when you go into a tournament and there's 4 objectives on the table, you're like, oh, well.
With that one mission?
No, there's several missions. There's like push forward. There's a bunch of missions that are 4 and 5. It's not just all 6 missions. And even if it is 6 missions, you're still fine. Like those armies are tough, man. They're not. They shoot a shit ton.
Saying you can still shenanigans them around because if you have speed, you can just attack where they're weak. They can only be so many places.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still see the game as like you have to stop scoring
for 2 turns. You won the game.
Yeah,
So
if you
that's
can
what
what?
we need
if
to do.
you can corral them, especially if you go first and you just go, okay, you've got a slow army, you don't get to move turn 1. Feel free to kill the unit I put in front of you. Cool.
Yeah.
I got a 15-5.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they have so many ways of getting around a lot of that. I mean, there's certain things that stop it, but not every army has a way to stop some of that stuff. So, I mean, those are boring lists. I don't want to play those, but
Those are boring lists on that.
I mean, even the horror armies is very similar. It just doesn't die. It sends around. It like creates into blues, into brims. You know, and then you have the Lord of Change and Magnus that can do a lot of damage on stuff. And they have mobility, but
if Chaos Space Marines, I think it's silly that we got a Death Guard book and not a Chaos Space Marine core book. If Chaos Space Marines gets the Marine treatment to their book, I would go back to CSM in a second because they have more flavor as far as like the shenanigans you can usually pull. Hopefully, again, you know what I mean, with characters and
we could do a whole episode on that too. We could do a whole episode about like what does Chaos Space Marines need. I'm down for that. I can make up a million things, and I know I can get James Carmona on the channel, and he can he can talk for 7 days.
Because man, they in previous editions and everything else with that, Chaos has always had has had super flavorful armies as far as you can go all in on specific legions, character status. I mean, you can literally have.
I mean, not always. Between fourth and fifth, you only have Lash.
Sorry. Yeah. When you had Lash Lords, yeah, you had one army.
Chaos actually has been suffering for a while. I think they had a cool run briefly with demons at a certain point. I remember the Corn book was really cool. I don't know why they got rid of it. Blood ties were fun. Blood ties were really fun. Was
cool, but you had when I was playing all the cultists and shit. You had a bunch of crazy shit. Tzeentch with the Thousand Suns had nutty shit. They had some really tough armies. Demons are doing really well. They did really well. They had some times when they were doing okay, but they were just boring.
Yeah, but it hasn't been like a Chaos Space Marine show in a long time. Like since 3.5. It hasn't really been a Chaos Space.
The regular Marines haven't been the units themselves, like their actual troops have suffered for a long time. That's why everybody puts demons in their armies a lot, because once cultists got the nerf bat, they didn't even get the nerf bat. They got the General Grievous fucking 6 lightsaber fucking bats. It's just into another dimension.
Not as bad as Razorwing Flock. Razorwing Flock.
We're not playing with these anymore. It's like
yeah. Once you nerf something where you're just like, well, I have 200 cultists sitting around somewhere. They're in a box.
I heard there's a dude running like 12 mortar fire or Penton engines or whatever from Sisters. I heard there's a list with that. I don't know how many you can take. How many mortar fires can you take?
What is it? 3 per squad? You can take 9. I mean, it's just the thing is that it costs too many points.
Yeah, I heard someone's running something like that.
But the thing is that I think that Sisters, that's a completely different episode thing on that. But like, I like Sisters. If you take 3 units of mortifiers, 3 units of repention, 3 units of retributors, you don't have all the things that make Sisters for me like the best. That's still a tough army, don't get me wrong, but Sisters are super good because they have all these shenanigans they can do. They can drop down with Seraphim and hit you in the movement phase. They can trade up. They have so many small units. They can take secondaries with Crusaders and Gemini and all this other shit, and you don't get those if you pick 1 million points into 9 units. You know what I mean? So yeah, having an arsenal of things is so much better than just going, this is tough. You're like, yeah, but I know exactly how to play against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm very happy. I missed our Sisters player in the final because he lost to the Chaos player, the Demon player I beat in the final of our league. That Sisters list, I think, it just has too much toughness value with the 4-up invo and everything and all the bodies. So I have a hard time seeing I'm gonna beat it.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think Sisters are a hard counter in general for Harlequins in general. I've always said that. Yeah. So
they're very tough. I just like the fact that they have like just so many things they can do. I just rather, again, when you're looking at the top tables and everything else, when you have lots of options, it's hard to plan against all of them. When you have very few options, then I can go, I know you can do this and this and this. You know what I mean? So you can play against it. Sisters are very hard to play against a top player, just because of the fact they can do so much weird shit to you. They can show up over here. They can do this. They have just a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that can happen. So I like them. I like having I like having all of the nonsense Seraphim. I like having a unit of Zephyrim because I think that they're just the threat range of them is just crazy. So you always have to worry about things. And if you're constantly having to worry, box out your board, you don't get to play optimally the way you want to.
Yep.
So I think that they're super good.
Yeah, I think I'll probably like not repaint my sisters. I think I'll just like either sell my sisters or do something with them. I don't know what, but I would like to start another sister army and like make it more thematic. I don't like the sister theme. I don't like anything to do with like fake ass religion. So
fake ass religion.
Like, I would, you know what I would do, man? I would make probably a sisters army of converted models that were all chicks, of course. But then I would do what's like the Day of the Dead in like Mexico where they like paint their face. What are those?
Yeah.
What are those?
Días de Muerte,
but isn't there like a name?
Check Raging Heroes or something. They have
yes, Raging Heroes have like these sisters models that are like that's where I was going to go with that, Daniel. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. They have some of those models, and they don't have a lot, but like I'm sure I can convert a ton and like use a bunch of the 40K models bits on them so that if I go to a tournament, the Games Workshop can't be like, oh, your models are like not Games Workshop. I could be like, every single model here has a Games Workshop piece on it. Because back in the day that was okay. I don't know what they'll do now today, but yeah, I would make something like that. I think that'd be really fun. And then I kind of want to like paint all my Mechanicum. I have a bunch of Mechanicum stuff, Brad, that you know about. So
here's my big thing that I've been pushing for, and I want to slot it in as always because I like to be self-serving at all times. But I want to push. I want to do a team tournament, Adepticon-ish style. I'm probably going to do it 1v1 games, but all the hobby stuff going in again. And we talked about this a little bit. Prediction-wise, do you think that we're going to get, like the Canadians are doing it a bit in their tournaments, so you think that there's going to be a return to more hobby stuff? Or do we think that we're battle points forever and that's just how it is? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying your guys' predictions.
Oh, I don't care what everyone else is doing. I'm going to be, all my armies from now on will all be like as pretty much the best I can paint with the best display board I can bring to every tournament I go to from now on. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't really care what the scoring is.
No, and I like that a lot. I'm just saying, but I'm just wondering if we're because it felt like we switched from overall painting, all that kind of stuff very quickly. Like it boom, just it was.
It was ITC. ITC did it, to be honest. I mean, that's kind of what. And it's not their fault. I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that like ITC gave a reward to the general. ITC gave an award to playing the game, right? It took years and years of frontline, to come out with like a hobby award. And even that hobby award isn't super taken seriously at a lot of events that I've been at. Not something that ITC did, but just like hobby organizers don't really super care. They're like, oh, you really want me to run a hobby track? Sure, you get points, whatever. It's not super like coveted in other areas. So I think we changed because, we celebrate winning. Battle points is what gets you the first place in the ITC points. So
is it that forever? You guys think that that's just how it is, and that's how
I think we're gonna live with a mixed tournament scene, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine too.
I'm just gonna predict, just seeing what you guys think is gonna go on in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of. Go ahead, Daniel.
It's too hard to be on top of the meta, and also I get too bored playing the same army for a long time. So it's too hard to have, 10 different armies at 15,000 points each, best painted, it's it's too much work. So I'm happy with both. And if I know hobby score is a big thing, maybe I'll bring one of my better looking armies. And if it's not, I'm going to bring, something else. So I'm happy with both.
And I would say, Brad, that there's a lot of people that would argue immediately. They would just say that there's a number of tournaments out there for painting. They're painting tournaments. So you can enter in something for a painted event, and they can judge your painting. And playing at a tournament when you're playing is really about playing the game. So you should be evaluated that way as opposed to painting. Now, I always argue back, and I say that the vast majority of people who enter into painting tournaments, like real crystal brush type of stuff, probably never play. They're just artistic people who love modeling and love creating models because they're literally creating works of art That's completely different than painting up a 2,000 point army on a display board, which is a totally different aspect of the hobby. Like they're very, very different. So
here's a second kind of follow up question, sir. What do you guys think about upping the minimums a little bit for majors and stuff like that? Not your RTTs, your average stuff, you know what I mean? But like when you go, you're traveling to an LVO, a Nova, WTC, you know, I mean, just like the biggest tournaments. Do you think there should be a higher standard for the minimum you can put on the board as opposed to 3 dots, you know, 2 dots on eyes and 1 primed? That's 3 colors kind of thing.
I think we're moving towards having that be better anyways here in the States. I don't know about you, Daniel, in Sweden, but I think we've gone past the 3 dots, right? We're past that already, so which is great. So
yeah, I don't see it as a big problem either in Sweden. I mean, the biggest problem we have in Sweden is the rainbow-colored Space Marine armies.
Yeah, they stopped that here too. That got stopped here as well, Daniel. So now you have to have like all the same color.
That sort of have in parts at least been addressed. So I don't see a big problem with it either. But yeah, I mean, it's more fun to play against a good-looking army. But on the other hand, it's more fun to play against a great player. So, you know, I rather welcome everyone and play against.
I would say the way to make sure that the painting gets better, Brad, is by incentivizing overall more than general. That's the way to do it. I wouldn't just create an arbitrary rule. I would just make the incentive to be the hobby. And not.
But I'm saying here's an option also, just to see what you guys think about this. If we took the bottom floor, and again, this is just for the big, you know what I mean, the big tournaments where we're representing what we're doing and everything else, trying to bring in the new people, trying to run the best thing. If you up the minimum level, which we have a lot already, but I'm just saying, and then you gave larger prizes to overall and actually made it a prize that we gave out and not like an also ran kind of prize, which is kind of what it goes to right now. Would that incentivize just the people to have a little bit better armies for what they bring to large tournaments?
I just think it comes across wrong. I think it comes across as a punitive thing as opposed to a reward system. So that's okay. I'm against approaching it in a punitive. I'm against saying if your army's not painted to a particular standard, you can't play, because that makes it seem like painting is a chore. And like painting shouldn't be a chore if you care about the hobby. And if you don't care about the hobby, that's fine. Then you can't win overall, right? Like, do you care more about winning the overall award, or do you care more about like painting sucks? Like you have to evaluate that for yourself, and like that determines like what kind of person you are in the game. So like anybody that comes to me and bitches about painting, like I don't really give a fuck. Just go do something else. Go rebuild cars. I don't know.
Rebuild cars.
Sit on your couch and binge Netflix.
Go noodling.
Like, yeah, go noodling.
I mean,
you can noodle.
You can noodle. Yeah, I was gonna say it's we have to. It's scary. It's part of our contract. We have to.
I'm never the kind of person who likes to do things based off of punitive. So it's like a carrot stick kind of thing.
So, yeah, we do more incentive then. You say, hey, give out more prizes for, and at that point in time, if you're going to incentivize it, then I would do first, second, third in overall then, and give them a lot of prizes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I want to reward people putting in effort. That's what I want to do. I don't want to
because I don't want to make it untouchable, because you don't want that one guy that's a good player and has a great looking army that there's no chance. You want to give more. Yeah, you always want to give out more prizes. Period. But
yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
I'm literally just kind of looking for opinions on that one. You know, as far as I see it as it was just really weird, because in my gaming lifespan of forever here, I've seen such a big flip, and then you've got people trying to just doing it. I mean, like certain areas are really valuing the hobby more, and it looks to be more in like team type events than anything. To tell you the truth, for whatever reason, the team events have been doing it way more than the singles events have been.
Probably because you feel responsible to your friends. Right. So when you're in a team event, it's not just you that you're letting down. It's everyone else too. So that's what I would guess. I don't know what, you're so old. When you were on a team with Jesus on your first 40K event, how did you feel?
That dude was a hell of a planer, and he's also a hell of a modeler, dude. Carpentry really flips into being able to.
He also gave you a limited amount of wine because he has created it.
Exactly.
Did he change all your water? Yeah, that's what I thought.
All the water became wine, and that's really why. That's the main reason I was on the team. Let's be honest.
So yeah, I think that's probably why it is. I don't know. I would guess that it's you don't want to let down your teammates.
So what do we want to lead with 2021? What are our words of wisdom, encouragement, predictions for 40K in 2021? Are we going to defeat COVID and have all of the tournaments?
I would say that even though life is the exact same as 2020, hopefully it'll change as quick as 2020 did, right? Like 2020 changed like in March, and hopefully everyone gets like a vaccine and gets better, or doesn't get the vaccine and doesn't care. Whatever makes you happy. Hopefully you do it.
Imagine going abroad to a big tournament the first time after COVID. It's like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be epic.
I applied to the Gibraltar tournament in October.
The funny thing is we're going to go to the tournament and we're going to be so excited to be traveling that we're going to spend so little time worrying about the tournament.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as everything opens up, we're gonna be going on a beach. Yes. Forget playing the game.
We're literally gonna be hanging out somewhere and go, hey man, didn't the first round start like 3 hours ago? Yeah. Well, sucky.
I do think we got some really good ideas though in this cast. We can talk about like what armies are missing, what the new book needs to have, and then we can actually break down some of like the most popular ones a little bit more because we haven't done that in the past. We can kind of break down 2020 like army list stuff. I think that'd be cool.
I'm excited about it. I think that my prediction for the future is I think that things are going to be semi-normal in summer. And my hope for this year is that the app is running on 57,000 cylinders.
Who cares?
And
dude?
it's
just use
Battlescribe. Don't spoil my 2021 my hope. I want it to work like Battle Plan and to have a real builder. Maybe Battlescribe on my phone. On the app.
It's like, I swear to God, I feel like everyone who's complaining about this app is just like a bunch of people who are like, man, I really wish I could listen to music on the internet. Wish it worked. It's like, what the fuck? There's like so many ways to do this already. Why do you need this app? It's like not even that important.
I don't complain about the app. It's 19 Swedish kroners. It's like the same price as a Snickers bar a month. So I think it's worth it.
I like it. I just want it to be more. You know what I mean?
Be more app.
No, because it's a big deal because anytime that I can take out any piece of the game that could make it negative, I want to talk about the terrain beforehand. I want to talk about what type of game we're going to talk about. We talked about this. We had a whole episode on it, but like if I can slide my battle plan to Daniel and he knows exactly what I have and everything that my units do, and I know his, that's one less thing that could possibly ever be argued about. And it makes me have more fun with my toy soldiers.
Hey, Battlescribe, make a way to share army lists between people with phones, and you'll probably make a lot of money. There you go. Maybe you'll get done now, Brad, because I actually asked a real company to do it.
Oh, really? The guy's doing it for free.
I swear to God, dude, Games Workshop is using the intern department at like whatever Nottingham University is nearby. Like, do you want an internship? Do you know anything?
Kids like coming out. I'm in my first year of college. So like, you're in charge of the app.
Yeah. Like, but
I don't know where I am, man.
But my major is in foreign affairs. Make the app. Make the fucking app. It's got to work in other countries. There you go. There's your foreign affairs. But I know nothing about technical stuff. It doesn't matter. Find someone else who does.
Neither do we.
Yeah, neither do we, exactly. You're already ahead of the game, kid. Get in there. Get in there and have a warm beer. We don't have ice in this country. Makes no fucking sense, dude. Don't understand anything. All right.
That being said,
I feel like we're getting off the rails right now. I think we talked about enough today. Catch our podcast on Tuesdays, which will now be on YouTube as well, because we are using Restream, which does something, I don't know, picks up a stream somewhere and then shoots a stream somewhere else. It crosses the streams. Are we crossing streams right now?
Crossing the streams.
Jesus Christ, you should never cross the streams. That's Bill Murray really advised us against that. So, all right, guys, take care. Thank you guys for tuning in.
See you guys.
See you.